I wanted to say a little bit about grace. I appreciate grace in my life. I appreciate being able to be saved by grace. That it's not by anything that I have done that I can boast in myself, but it's just through the grace of God that I have salvation, that He chose each and every one of us that are in church that have experienced salvation. God has pointed us out and said, by His grace, that I cover all your iniquities and all your sin, and I accept you who you are, that while you were yet sinners, He died for us. I appreciate grace so much in my life that the Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times but gets up. It's grace that allows me to get up after failure. You know, it's grace that allows me to be empowered to live for God. It was grace when the woman that was caught in adultery in the Bible, when they brought her to Jesus to stone her, it was grace that Jesus said that, where's your accusers? He said, neither do I accuse you, go and sin no more. It was grace that allowed her to go and sin no more. But see, there's a view of grace that I think is getting a little twisted. The prodigal son left his father and went out and had riotous living and was in the pig pen, and then he came to himself and he came back to his father. His father didn't go and sit with him in the pig pen. Grace is not about making us comfortable where we are in the pig pen. If we have pig pens in our life, if we have sin in our life, if we have things that are not of God, that He has convicted our conscience about, not because of a list of rules, but that He spoke to your heart and said, just like Paul said, he said that not a circumcision of the flesh, but a circumcision of the heart. So grace doesn't allow the father or the prodigal son to go and sit in the pig pen, but grace is the arms that accept the son when he came to himself and he came back to God. And as people in churches that have experienced the salvation of God, grace doesn't make us comfortable in the sin we're in. Because Christ is calling us to be circumcised of the heart, to pull away things. He's still the husbandman. He's still the vine dresser that wants to cut things out of our lives. Grace doesn't stop that. Grace gives us the ability to stay connected to Him, stay connected to the vine, that He can prune us, that He can renew us, that He can make them the new creatures, that we can be changed by the transforming and the renewing of our mind. The Bible says that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Grace doesn't take that away. Grace gives us the power to do all things, to be set free, to be healed. We have to understand this, because if we're ever going to do the Great Commission, go into the world and preach the gospel and set at liberty them that have been bound, like Jesus said He's been anointed to do, therefore we've been anointed to do it, then we have to have a testimony. And grace allows us to have a testimony. It doesn't give us comfort where we could stay where we are. Grace is the power to change, not the power to stay. It doesn't make us self-righteous. Grace gives us the ability to know that we wouldn't be who we are and where we are without the grace of God. But now it's time to stand up. Just as in Acts, He said, go and wait for you to receive that power from on high, and then go and do the Great Commission. We have a bigger purpose in our life than to use grace to figure out how good we have to be, or how much sin, or how much of the world we can still be a part of. We got a bigger commission than that. It's seeking and saving the lost. It's showing people the love of Jesus Christ and turning the people towards Him. Because every day we must know, you must understand that people are dying without even, they could hear the gospel, but without anybody having the chance to be a part of their lives and saying, the Lord has done this for me. Giving their testimony where they could see that it is possible for them to be free. People are dying and not thinking it's possible for them to be delivered, for them to be healed, for their hearts to be transformed. Grace gives us the ability to have power to go into this world and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. So the church needs to be less worried about using grace to figure out what I can get away with, and more worried about the people dying and going to hell, and getting empowered where we can go and reach them and preach to them. That we're not so entangled in the affairs of this world that we don't even care or understand that people are dying right in front of us. We are the church. We're the only chance for this world to experience Jesus Christ. Are we going to be His hands and feet today? Or are we going to continuously worry about how comfortable I can be while I'm living in this world?